So The Dark Knight Rises officially hit 9 years on July 20th, 2021. Now, I want to, this is like a love letter to this film for the most part. I have a lot of sentimental things about this film. Also, just like a lot of people, like Chris Stuckman did it with The Sandlot, and Cosplay Chris did it with The Dark Knight, so I wanted to share my experience. It's been 9 years since The Dark Knight Rises has come out. I mean, I was trying to wait until 10 years, but I really just wanted to share this type of video with you. So I have a couple knickknacks right here from The Dark Knight Rises I want to show you first, and I really want to get into why this film is something to me. I picked up this actually at FYE about 4 years ago for $4. This is the art book. It switches from Bane to Batman on there, which is pretty fucking cool. Dark Knight Rises, you get all that shit in there. 3-disc set and some like a comic book and stuff like that with it. I picked this up on the release of The Dark Knight Rises. When I was younger, I just didn't give a fuck about boxes, but this is pretty dope. And then you have the 3-disc set come out of here and slide back in like so, and it even shows like all the credits at the bottom, which is pretty cool. I love this Broken Mask. Used to have the poster of this. I gotta get it framed back there soon. I have the Steelbook, a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook of the Broken Mask with the back and 3-disc set. Little Dark Knight Trilogy Christian Bale Batman Pop. Should go back up there. And now I also have this, The Dark Knight Rises on 4K. Why not? I actually just picked this up, and this is the DC Direct Dark Knight Rises Christian Bale Batman, which looks pretty cool. Look at that cape. Looks beautiful. And he actually looks really cool. Look at the detail. Wow. It's incredible. Okay. As the background will be shifting a lot in these upcoming weeks for the most part, I really do want to dive into this film. I remember the first day I saw it. I did not actually get to see it on the 20th. I actually went the Saturday, so it would be the 21st. I remember it was the first IMAX showing. First of all, I have to get this out. This is the first film I've ever seen in IMAX. I think I was about 11, 12 when I went to see this. I think it was 11 or 12 I went to go see this film. I went with my grandma, my mom, my dad, my uncle, and his buddy, and one of my other friends too. And the thing about, I never really knew the importance of until I saw The Dark Knight Rises. So I remember, like, I'm not going to talk about the film, like what I remember seeing in that, but I will a little bit. I just remember the experience of a lifetime watching this on the IMAX screens. I'm so glad I got to see that. But the thing is, I got introduced to the Christopher Nolan Batman in 2006. I did not see Batman Begins right away. I remember, I think my mom bought it for me on DVD. I wish I still had the DVD. I might have it somewhere. And then what happened after that was, after I saw it on DVD, The Dark Knight was coming out. So actually, it was 2007 when I watched Batman Begins for the first time and fell in love with Christopher Nolan and Nolan's vision and Christian Bale. And then it was 2000. It was right around that time when Dark Knight was just hitting theaters, which is the 18th, I think, of July. And I remember I was in kindergarten, so I got the Batman suit from The Dark Knight and that. And I remember just fucking, it was incredible. That's kind of where the cosplay started to start, right around that time. But I remember I did not get to go see The Dark Knight either, unfortunately, in theaters, because my parents thought it was going to be too dark. But then my uncle ended up buying me the DVD of that for Christmas, and then we all watched it anyways. I don't know. But a funny story is, my mom was not the one that thought the movie was too dark. It was my dad. And then my mom ended up actually renting from Blockbuster The Dark Knight as soon as it came out, and we watched it before my uncle even knew that I saw it, so that was pretty cool. But from these two films, I got invested in Batman. That's what made me fall in love with the character. That's when I started reading the comic books, started playing the video games, started playing with the Legos, the action figures, etc. So I was immersed into the world at that time, and especially in love with The Dark Knight, like the trilogy. And I saw Batman Begins, I fell in love with it, and then The Dark Knight just fucking, I cummed everywhere. So going into The Dark Knight Rises, I had high expectations, and the thing is, this, when I was going into the film, I knew this is the epic conclusion of everything that I guess you would say, that I loved in my childhood, and it's going to wrap up in this final film. And I'm going to tell you guys straight out, I'm getting a little tiny bit emotional, but for me, I look over all the flaws in this film, because this film hits me on a personal level. It is an epic conclusion to what got me introduced. This character got me introduced, and it got me introduced to this character and made me really feel something, that Batman is just not an ordinary man, or he's just not a superhero. He's an ordinary man trying to do the right thing and strike vengeance in the heart of those people that just fucking. So when I went into The Dark Knight, I'm going to be honest with you, going into The Dark Knight Rises, we stood in a line, and I remember we were just all like lined up. Everybody, it was fucking packed theater too, and everybody was geeking out there and that, and we were all excited to see this epic conclusion. I remember fucking a couple months, no, it was actually that December of 2011, I saw the trailer one where the kids singing the national anthem, and that was the first trailer. The first official trailer, and I'm like getting goosebumps. I remember watching it on my uncle's iPod 2nd generation in a restaurant, because Wi-Fi didn't really exist everywhere, and I remember just like, oh my god, I can't wait! So that happened, and then I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, fuck, I cannot wait for this film. And from the action, the spectacle of it, from me actually cheering when Bruce gets out of the pit to Batman dying, I literally cried when Batman died. You know, quote unquote. This film, to me, is the best in the trilogy. You guys, if you guys watch my older videos ranking Christopher Nolan collection, anything about it, I always said that The Dark Knight Rises, to me, is the best film. Yes, from a critical standpoint, an average standpoint, The Dark Knight is the best, and I do have the poster right there. But for me, The Dark Knight Rises is something more than just a film. It's the conclusion of me getting introduced to this character and how I'm going to go forward without having this storyline and me with this character like Christian Bale's Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batman world. It's incredible. I remember just like thinking to myself, I was in 3rd grade, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is it. And I remember that May of 2012, I went to go see The Avengers. I thought that was incredible. And then July 3rd, I went to go see The Amazing Spider-Man. Loved that as well. But when everything was just like fucking Dark Knight Rises, because that was what made me who I am today. Made me the type of person I am, and fell in love with the Nolan movies, anything he pushes out there, and got me to keep going and pursuing onto liking the character more and more, and getting introduced to different iterations to the character. Ben Affleck's Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman. Even I go back to look at Michael Keaton's Batman and try to, like that as well. And I do for the first Batman film, 1989. But for me, this film, guys, is just, it shaped how I looked at films. And I looked at them back then when I was younger. I remember going to see a lot of films, and I just couldn't sit still in a theater or anything. And then it wasn't until that film that really made me, even at a young age, appreciate how good this film is and the message behind it, Rise. And even if you guys know my short film that I made, this film sticks with me. And I don't give a fuck about the plot holes. You can shit on this film all you want. But for me, I don't care. I love The Dark Knight Rises. It is, for me, a flawed but perfect film for me. And I get other people out there that don't like it. I understand your plot holes, your problems with it, and I can acknowledge them, but I just forget about them. From the score to the acting to the performance to the action, the fucking cinematography, this film is incredible. there's not a lot to say. Yes, it was riding off high heels of The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker, and I mean everybody basically knew it wasn't going to be as good as probably The Dark Knight after Heath Ledger's tragic death. But for me, it is the best. Tom Hardy's Bane, Anne Hathaway's sexy Catwoman. I don't care. I just, it's, and then the whole message throughout the film is rising back up and becoming the Batman again, and this whole wrap of an epic conclusion. I'm actually really glad they ended the trilogy where it's at, because imagine going on a franchise and making more and more. So for me, guys, I'm going to be honest, The Dark Knight Rises is, it's just such an amazing film. It's crazy that it's been 9 years since it hit theaters. 2012, July 20th, 2012, and yes, we all know the tragic story about the Aurora shooting and that happened with that, which probably fucked with the box office money with The Dark Knight Rises. I remember even my mom was a little skeptical about going to the theater to see it. We were wondering if it was going to happen again and that. It was a scary time, but I just remember going to the theater. I wish I still had the t-shirt I wore. I actually, fun fact, I remember I saw people dressed up in Batman clothes or like suits and that, and I remember I had my old Batman utility belt on, and I had this cool comic looking, graphic looking Dark Knight Rises shirt. It was black, had like red on it, and it was all white. It looked sick. Wish I still had it. And I had a Batman Begins hat on. I think about it to this day, guys, that this film really did shape who I am, and it shaped how I look at these films today and how I guess you would say respect them, because this is a flawed film. It really is, but I don't care. The amount of work that Christopher Nolan put behind it, the amount of work the actors put behind it, they made something truly special, and I think it is a perfect ending to the trilogy. And I'm glad. It really made me realize that I can like other iterations of the character. I'll tell you right now, I was very skeptical about Ben Affleck's Batman. I really was. And what happened was I ended up liking him. And I personally like Ben Affleck's Batman the best. But the Dark Knight trilogy's always got a heart and shaped who I am. But I'm talking about The Dark Knight Rises because it is the best film out of the trilogy. And it is what I perceive to be one of the top best films of all time, because of how it made me who I am today. It really is. Guys, that's it for this video. Please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see other videos like this, a love letter story to a certain type of film. I have a lot of other films too that shaped me in different ways and made me perceive film in a different way, but this is one of them that really did hit me home. Hit the heart home. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more, please, and I'll see you soon.